Here we go. So welcome everyone to our Tuesday edition of the LifeVantage Opportunity Meeting. And I'm Brenda Geary, and I'm super excited to be here with you this evening. I always consider it an honor to be able to share my passion with everybody and to share why I absolutely love the science of what we have on our hands. So let's do this here. Let's see. And I got everyone muted. Okay, cool. And Miss Vicky has joined us. Awesome. So tonight is just about sharing the LifeVantage story, sharing the LifeVantage opportunity. And, you know, for those of you guys that have been invited to watch this webinar, we're going to be sharing about these category creating products and their, you know, and their benefits from a health and wellness perspective. And also, for those of you guys that are looking for a way to create passive residual income, a way to add a secondary income stream into your home that doesn't conflict with what you're currently doing, but that's actually a complement where you can create generational wealth. We're going to talk about that opportunity and how this, how these products and how the science and how this technology is a perfect vehicle for creating passive residual income. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you and we will get started. Okay. Here we go. So tonight we're going to be talking about biohacking. We're going to be talking about really taking control of your health and wellness. One of the things that I came to realize when I lost my health, and I'll share about that in a little bit, is we don't realize how much we take our health for granted until we've lost our health. If that's something that resonates with you, just think about that, right? That we often take our health for granted. So tonight we're going to be talking about that. So let me tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm so passionate about sharing these products and why really I found my passion and my purpose because of my life experience. So prior to LifeVantage, my background is I was a corporate VP of human resources. I literally was one of the top human resources executives in a Fortune 500 company. I absolutely loved what I was doing. It was just a perfect match for me and my personality because I love to lift people up. I love being a coach. I love being a business partner. And I was doing it and I was at the top of my game. And I always tell people that it doesn't matter how healthy you are. You may be listening to this webinar right now and you're seeing these pictures and you're saying, I can't relate because that's not my story. But I tell you what, at the height of my career, I was the Energizer Bunny. I was always super healthy. And then one day I woke up and my entire life had changed like that, literally. And so I tell folks, you may be totally healthy, but what if you wake up tomorrow and your life has changed? That's what happened for me. I went from being really healthy, Energizer Bunny, always exercising, just being vibrant and jumping out of bed every morning to one day waking up in June or July of 2004, hives, welts, rashes all over my body, nonstop itching that never stopped from 2004 to 2011, till mid-August, September 2011. And one of the things I want to say up front as I'm sharing my story is that because our company and our products are in the supplement category, we can't make claims. We can't make claims that our products treat, prevent, cure, or mitigate disease. But what you're going to learn about tonight is really the ability to take control of your biology and really activating pathways in your body, so where your body's actually doing the work and we're just using these plant-based products to turn your body on, to activate your body so that your body's doing the work. So to go back to my story, I woke up one morning, hives, welts, rashes, nonstop itching, and not just kind of itching, but you know, imagine being in a bathtub full of fire ants, just bone deep itching. And then I got sicker and sicker and I developed fibromyalgia, really debilitating fibromyalgia, where I would wear my clothing inside out, you guys, because the seams of my clothing hurt to touch on my body. And then I further developed chronic fatigue syndrome. autoimmune urticaria, which, with autoimmune urticaria is that chronic itching, fatty liver disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And you guys, the thing about this all is that when your immune system is compromised and there's a crack in your immune system, it just is kind of like the start of that slippery slope. You just open yourself up to so many different things. And that's what had happened for me. And so I grew up in a household where when we got sick, we went to the doctors, and whatever the doctor said, you did, right? So I was going to my doctor, and they were just giving me different prescription medications. I went to Cleveland Clinic. I went to Mayo Clinic because I was wanting to figure out, why am I so sick? And one of the things that was most devastating, quite honestly, for me, was the fact that with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, one of the side effects of that is cognitive dysfunction, cognitive decline. So, significant short-term memory loss, where like whatever I would say, I would forget it when it came out of my mouth. I had trouble remembering numbers and remembering conversations. And that just wasn't what was going to be able to be effective for working in corporate America. So I was looking for a solution. I literally, at my sickest, was in bed 20 hours a day. I'll say that again. I was in bed 20 hours a day. I literally forgot what it felt like to be Brenda. And again, not everybody has my story, but I share my story because there is somebody out there that that you love, that's praying for a solution. And if what we have from a product perspective can help someone that had as many issues as I did, and it has the possibility to help so many other individuals, it's worth really listening and learning about what we have. And so I actually took a medical retirement, which was devastating for me because when I left my corporate job, I didn't leave it because I wanted to. I left it because I could no longer function in my role. And so at my sickest, I was praying for something. I literally was in bed praying and just saying, God, just send me something. I just want something that will just give me a little bit of relief, just something that will help me just a little bit. And certainly God answered my prayers because, Randy met a young man at a McDonald's, out of the blue, cold contact, and they got to talking, and they were very, conversational. And Ryan, who will always be my angel because he introduced us to these products and LifeVantage, he found out that, Randy had a sick wife at home, and he basically said this, you guys: the invitation for people to look is not about selling. It's simply an invitation to look and to possibly solve a problem. We're looking at solving people's issues, right? And so he basically said, I've got something that I think can help your wife if you're open to taking a look. And Randy said, sure, I'll take a look. The big thing here is that Randy had an open mind. We always tell people, here's my philosophy, and here's what I've learned from my mentor. And that is this: our job is simply to present the information, to educate on the information, on the science, on the value of these products, on the benefits of these products, and then people get to make their own informed decision. I'm not attached to whatever decision a person makes. My job is just to educate on what we have, and then a person can make an educated decision. And I'm so grateful that Ryan gave us that gift of information, because when I looked at that ABC Primetime investigative report, which I'm going to share with you guys in just a few minutes, all I knew was I wanted to get that product in my body right away. I wanted it for myself, and I also wanted it for my husband, because Randy is a retired police officer. He has degenerative disc disease, and he had horrible, horrible sciatica. So I was hoping that, lowering that inflammation, lowering that oxidative stress, which we're going to learn about this evening, would help him as well. And it has literally changed our lives. Again, not making claims, but literally life-changing. So here I am. You can see in these pictures, I was in bed all the time. You see me with our dog in bed. You see I was on 24 prescription medications. And here I was happy camper, started to get my life back, started, the itching stopped, my cholesterol went down, the pre-type 2 diabetes numbers completely normalized. And then in November, so this was August of 2011, and then November 2011, because I had chronic inflammation leads to cell mutation. My inflammation levels were off the chart. And then I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And as you can probably tell, I'm a very positive person, okay? I'm not Pollyanna, but I am very positive because I choose to be positive, right? And when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was basically, okay, let's get her done. What are we gonna do? I made a decision to go with the chemo route. I wanted to mix Western and Eastern medicine. Because the cancer was both breast and it was also in my lymph nodes, and I wanted to give myself the best chance for recovery. And so I just said, you know what, God just has a bigger story for me to tell and a bigger purpose for me. And I really believe that that's the truth for me. And so I kept taking my Protandim NRF2, and it's always a personal choice when people do that. We're not doctors, we're not giving medical advice. But for me, what I wanted to do was protect my body as much as possible. My mother died at the age of 52. And when she died at the age of 52, she didn't die from cancer. She died from the side effects of chemo and radiation therapy. So what I wanted to do when I was going through chemo was to protect my body as much as possible. You guys, I had been so sick that I literally did not think I was going to live to be 50. I didn't think I was going to live to be 50. And I'm so grateful that these products came into our lives so that my quality of life would be improved. So today, as I sit here on this webinar, I'm off of all 24 prescription medications. I have my life back. I'm thriving. I'm cancer-free. And I'm so grateful for the science that we have. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into it. So tonight, we're going to learn about the science of nutrigenomics. We're going to learn about biohacking. And tonight I'm going to be introducing terms to you that it's quite possible that you're not familiar with, but that's the beauty of you being on this webinar this evening, is that you're learning new things, okay? And you can take what resonates and leave the rest behind. It's almost like a buffet. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. So biohacking is a term you may or may not have heard, and it really means taking control of your own biology. A lot of times people think that disease is something that we automatically inherit from our parents, but only about 20%, only 2% of our genes are actually coded for disease, right? It's all these environmental factors that are really driving disease and dysfunction. We're going to talk about that, right? So what if we can if we have environmental factors that lead to disease and dysfunction, what if we can take control of our own biology and mitigate those factors that are leading to why we age and age-related diseases? And at LifeVantage, we do that through the science of nutrigenomics, using plant-based nutrition to impact how our genes are expressed. So even if your family has a history of a particular disease, with the science of nutrigenomics, you can actually you can have an impact on whether that disease process is actually expressed. Okay, let's see here. And so we do that at LifeVantage through the science of nutrigenomics, and that nutrigenomics industry is a $600 billion industry. It's pretty powerful. So what I want to do now is I want to show you this ABC Primetime Investigative Report. And the reason we show this ABC Primetime is because it's not a company video. Literally, when our company came out with the claim that our flagship product lowers the root cause of how we age and age-related diseases by an average of 40% in 30 days, that was a powerful, powerful statement. There's nothing else on the market that reduces that oxidative stress, that cellular damage, by even 10%. So when our company came out with that claim, ABC sent John Quinones to do an investigation of the claim. So you're going to watch that now. And what I want you to do is this. I want you to listen really super closely, because this is like the best, when you think about these investigative reports, they're not there to do a favor for a company. They're really there to try to disprove what the company is saying, right? You typically see somebody running from the reporter. So what you're going to see here is something that completely different that happened. But as you are listening to this, I want you to be really thoughtful and listen to this from two perspectives. If this is true, who needs to know about this? And if this is true, for those of you guys that want to create generational wealth, for those of you guys that want to create passive income, whether it's $500 extra dollars or $1,000 extra dollars or $2,000 or $5,000, whatever will make a difference in your family, can you use this vehicle? Can you use the science to create that passive income? Pay special attention for when Dr. McCord is pulling, when John Quinones is having his blood drawn, okay? And so a lot has happened from the time that this ABC primetime aired in 2005, so it's old. So, but it's still so true and so powerful. Whenever someone watches this ABC primetime, it's so powerful. So I'll come back on when it's done and I'll bring you guys up to speed on what has happened, okay? Here we go.
The following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
Here, can you scoop? Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress. And we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SO, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
As it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. So you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me?
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks, even mental disease. Yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. But because it's being sold as a nutritional supplement and not a drug, Protandim does not need FDA approval for safety.
Protandim
Awesome.
NRF2
Okay.
is protected by 7 U.S. patents. Major universities.
We're going to end it right there. And what we're going to end it right there. And what I'd love
The following.
there we go. There's a couple people that are not muted. Let's go ahead and make sure that everyone is muted so that we have a good recording here. Give me 1 second. Let's make sure that we are all muted. Okay, here we go. Excellent. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, so you guys, when I saw that ABC primetime, it blew my mind. Did you guys all see where John Quinones' oxidative stress was reduced by 45% in 2 weeks? 45%. And there wasn't a reporter running down the sidewalk chasing anybody. What was meant to disprove absolutely validated what we have. So let's take a step backwards and let me bring you up to speed. So where we started from a LifeVantage perspective, our products have been sold since 2003. And what a lot of people don't understand is that LifeVantage is a biotech company. Our products were never intended to be sold word of mouth via the network marketing model. The flagship product, Protandim NRF2, was actually sold in Rite Aid, the Vitamin Shop, GNC. It was sold on the store shelves. But here's the problem. We have a product that people really didn't understand. Before watching this video, think about this. Raise your hand, just in your house, if you knew what oxidative stress was. Most times when we ask that question, most people are shaking their heads no. Some people know what free radicals are. They're the bad guys that lead to cellular damage. And we often think about inflammation, but that term oxidative stress, people were not familiar with. So the store, it was on the store shelves next to vitamin C, next to vitamin E, in the antioxidant aisle. And people were looking at it, they didn't really understand the bottle, but they knew what vitamin C and vitamin E were, and those were less expensive. So if you have a choice between something that's familiar and something that's not familiar, what are you going to buy? You're going to buy what's familiar, okay? So the product wasn't selling. We were selling just a little bit per month in each store. But when that ABC primetime aired, there were millions of people that were watching. They wanted to get their hands on Protandim NRF2, but Dr. McCord and his other scientists, they were not prepared for the influx of orders. So most people didn't get their orders. But here's the beautiful thing that happened when that ABC primetime aired. There were doctors and there were researchers who were at home that evening watching, and they knew how important reducing oxidative stress was. So they reached out to Dr. McCord so that they could get their hands on Protandim NRF2 so that they could conduct studies on issues and diseases that they were interested in, okay? We're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. So the product wasn't selling, the stock price was in the tank, okay? We're a publicly traded company and we weren't doing well. So the company hired a consultant in 2009 to potentially sell the company. But when he saw that ABC primetime, it made a huge impact on him. And he says, you guys, you have a product here that's unique, it's exclusive, it's significantly ahead of the curve, and it has a story, and store shelves do not talk. So the consultant made a recommendation that we take the product off the store shelves and that we sell it word of mouth, because you guys, word of mouth is the most powerful vehicle for sharing and moving product. How many times have you recommended a restaurant or a movie or shopping at a particular, at a particular place? And because our friends trust us, they're like, okay, I'm all in, right? So initially the board of directors and Joe McCord and those other scientists said no, because network marketing at the time had a yucky stigma attached, which we're gonna disprove. And so they kept selling it online, but it wasn't selling. So finally, in 2009, they did a side-by-side comparison, and they found that just in 6 months, the networkers, the people that were sharing word of mouth, belly to belly, kneecap to kneecap, outsold the stores by 300%. And at that point, the company switched from retail to network marketing, okay? Network marketing done right is the most amazing model, absolutely, for sharing and distributing products. The other thing I love about this company is the exemplary corporate leadership, just a ton of experience of individuals that are totally committed to seeing the growth of this company with integrity. So let's take a step back. Like I said earlier, most people don't know what oxidative stress is, but the reality is we all have oxidative stress. Every single person that's listening to this webinar right now has oxidative stress. You cannot get away from it. Oxidative stress comes at us in all different types of forms. It's in the air that we're breathing. It's in the pesticides, fungicides. It's in the processed foods, folks that smoke. Even, for example, people that exercise sometimes say, well, I don't eat anything because I exercise and I eat really well. But when you eat and you exercise, you actually create more free radicals. So if you're breathing, you have oxidative stress. And the thing is that when we're young, our bodies can handle that oxidative stress. But as we age, our bodies don't do a good job of handling that oxidative stress. You guys remember that chart in the ABC primetime. Here we are, our age-related oxidative stress goes up, right? And our ability to fight it goes down. So cellular aging leads to disease and eventually to death. So what's the solution to fighting that oxidative stress? Okay. That oxidative stress, you guys, it is such a big player. It literally is linked at the root cause of hundreds of diseases. I love this chart right here because I want you guys to look at it. It's every organ function. I want you to think about and look at it. Who do you know? Who do you love? Who's got one of these things going on? And wouldn't lowering their oxidative stress, if oxidative stress is linked to these diseases, wouldn't lowering their oxidative stress be a really good idea? It's every organ function. And so sometimes we will talk to people and they'll say, well, how can you have one little yellow pill? How can one tool impact so many diseases? It's because you're on the front end of the disease process. So all of these diseases are impacted by oxidative stress. They're all on the front end. So you can lower that oxidative stress and lower your chances, okay? So Protandim NRF2, which was featured in the ABC Primetime, it's lowering that oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And actually, the results accumulate. So with continued use, the science shows us that it's up to 70% in 120 days. So that Protandim NRF2 is 5 plant ingredients. You can see them listed here at the bottom. And it's the synergy of those 5 plant ingredients that activate this pathway in the body, lowering that oxidative stress, putting your body to work, biohacking your body. Now, it's also really important about this product, especially if you're an athlete, is that our products are approved by the Banned Substances Control Group, and they're also NSF certified, which means that every single batch is tested for potency, for it being a clean product, and it also means that what you see on the label is actually what's in the bottle. You'll be surprised by how many products what's on the label is not actually what's in the bottle. And then if you remember in the ABC Primetime, Dr. McCord said that studies are just now starting to see if Protandim NRF2 would increase lifespan. Well, that study, after 10 years, a study that was funded by the National Institute for Aging has proven that Protandim NRF2 is the only supplement proven to extend lifespan. So what's really interesting is sometimes people say, well, I don't want to live forever. But you guys, it's not about living forever. It's about quality of life. If you can improve health span, quality of life, then you can improve lifespan, okay? So this is powerful. Now, the other thing that I want to bring your attention to is that sometimes people that we talk to will say, well, I already drink green tea, or I cook with curcumin and turmeric, or I take milk thistle. The beautiful thing about Protandim NRF2, and the reason we have 7 US patents, and think about this, when you get a patent, you have to prove that what it's doing is substantially different than anything else on the market. We have 7 US patents on this formulation. And you'll notice here that it's not about the individual ingredients, because each of the individual ingredients is in such a small dosage. It's not a therapeutic dosage, but here's the magic. It's the synergy of the 5 plant ingredients that result in an 1,800-fold increase, right, in that expression of the antioxidant genes in your body. So you cannot go out, for those of you guys that are do-it-yourselfers, you're not going to go out to Whole Foods or to Jimbo's and buy each of these and think you're going to make your own Protandim NRF2, because it literally is very specific amounts of each of the phytonutrients that are able to have this result. And so here's where NRF2 is the game changer. We all know that technology advancements change the world, right? How many people are using typewriters to create, to type their college papers? Most people are not. They're using a computer. How many people are using a rotary phone to make phone calls? Most people are not. They're using their cell phones. Or even think about this, for those of you guys that might be old school. How many people remember when we were using dial-up, right? Dial-up internet, and you waited and, right? You waited, but now we have high-speed internet. So I want you to think about the solution in the past for reducing oxidative stress, and all we knew was to take direct antioxidants. And antioxidants, you see all these commercials, right? So antioxidants fight those free radicals. That is 20 to 30-year-old science. It's old, it's antiquated. It's an old solution for fighting free radicals, and it's not effective. It is not effective, because here's what we now know. When you consume antioxidants, one antioxidant molecule that you consume will bind with one one antioxidant molecule that you consume will bind with one free radical. It binds and it's done. You have to keep consuming more antioxidants, and our bodies produce such a huge amount of free radicals each day that those direct fruits and veggies and vitamin C and vitamin E will never be enough. Okay? But here's the new science. The new science is this. When you take protandim NRF2, which, by the way, is not an antioxidant. I don't want you thinking it's an antioxidant. It's an activator. We are turning on these pathways in the body. So protandim NRF2 is an NRF2 activator. It turns on our body's own antioxidant enzymes, and just one of your body's enzymes will neutralize 1 million free radicals every second per second. That's super powerful. So Dr. McCord has a lovely analogy, okay, to just kind of bring this home for you guys. We know that water puts out fire, right? We know that water puts out fire. But when you consume direct antioxidants, hey, you guys, someone's not muted. Someone's not muted. Can you please mute yourself? Okay, who's not muted? Oh, a galaxy note. Let me go ahead and mute you here. Aha. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. We got you. It's all good. So we know that water puts out fire, right? So when you consume direct antioxidants, it's like you're using a Dixie cup of water on a house fire. Think about that. Would you use a Dixie cup of water to put out a house fire? No, you wouldn't. But that's what you're doing if you're consuming direct antioxidants as your solution for that reducing oxidative stress. But when you activate with NRF2, it's as if you have a fire hose in every cell of your body, and that fire hose in every cell of your body is going to do a much better job. So think about this from a business perspective. The antioxidant industry is about a $70 billion industry. 70 billion. They're obsolete and they don't even know it. Because what do you think is going to happen when people really understand the difference between 1 to 1 versus 1 to 1 million? The antioxidant industry is going to be obsolete, and they're going to be looking for the NRF2 activator that's going to operate 1 to 1 million. Okay, that's huge for us, you guys. So when that ABC Primetime aired, I mentioned before that doctors and researchers reach out to Dr. McCord. What I love about this company and the products are the science, that we're very science-based. We're not just anecdotal, right? People love the stories, but what I love is that the science backs the story. So here you see just a small sample of the number of publications that now have been featured, that now feature protandim NRF2, and you see a list of some of the universities and research institutions that have actually spent their money to study a branded supplement. So often a company will have a study and they'll say, well, use our product because it contains an ingredient like turmeric, or milk thistle is good for you, so use our product because it's got milk thistle. What I love is that these studies that you're looking at here have all been done on the complete branded supplement. So think about this: the Ohio State, Harvard University, American Heart Association, Louisiana State University. These are all reputable research institutions that I promise you, they would not be putting their reputations at risk supporting a supplement that was steak oil, okay? And what's not on here, which I love as a breast cancer survivor, is the research that's being done by Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins as it relates to cancer. More to come on that. We've also been featured on media coverage. And again, like I said before, we have 7 US patents protecting our formulation, which means that we can't have copycats. So how does protandim work? I'm not going to go into the science of this, but it works by activating a pathway in the body called the NRF2 pathway. And that pathway is powerful. It's responsible for detoxification, activating survival genes, right? And this paper that was published by Washington State University is really powerful because what they're talking to is that these doctors at Washington State University, they did this study on NRF2, and their conclusions are that we may well become the most, that NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. Think about that. 2 words, therapeutic and preventive in the history of medicine. And that's exciting. And that's how Protandim works, by activating that pathway. And we have the most potent NRF2 activator on the market, period. So sometimes people say, well, if it's so powerful, why don't I know about it? Why haven't I heard about this? Why hasn't there, why haven't we heard about it? Well, the reality is it takes time, you guys. It takes time for what's happening in the research realm to push down and hit the general population. But here's what I know to be true, is I always say follow the money, right? You know who does know about NRF2? The pharmaceutical world. And there are at least 10 pharmaceutical companies that are chasing down the science of creating NRF2 activators so that they can apply it specifically to diseases. They see where the science is going, and they are trying to capitalize on it. And the very first NRF2 activator on the market is for multiple sclerosis relapses. It's on the market. It's called Tecfidera. They've made billions, you guys, about $7 billion, if not more, okay? And they've only been out for like 4 or 5 years. During the study, it was called BG12. So the researcher that was paid for by the pharmaceutical company, okay, this Dr. Van Horsen, you see him at the bottom there, he actually was looking at what are the most powerful NRF2 activators. And he actually included Protandim in his study. And look at the green. Here you have a pharmaceutical company. You have a researcher that's being paid for by the pharmaceutical company, and he is admitting that, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore maybe the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. And this study was published in the Multiple Sclerosis Journal. And again, we can't make claims, but what we can do is we can point people to the research and let them make their own informed decision. There's another NRF2 activator that's now in the market, and it's for Alzheimer's. It's about $120,000 a year. And by the way, the Tecfidera is about $50,000 a year. Super expensive. And here you have Protandim, and it's $41 a month, okay? So again, I say follow the money. So when you look at LifeVantage as a biohacking company, we're really looking at what are the key pillars of health that we can address. So we address the idea of oxidative stress. That's a big one. The other really big issue when it comes to health and wellness and disease and dysfunction is mitochondrial dysfunction, okay? Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Our mitochondria have to talk to each other in order for our cells to be healthy, in order for us to be healthy. And look at the right-hand side. These are diseases that are known to be impacted by mitochondrial dysfunction. So when your mitochondria are not healthy, when you don't have that cellular energy, the mitochondria start dying off. And look at all these neurological issues and cancer and autism and all these things that are impacted by mitochondrial dysfunction. So the solution, so why should you care? And what's the solution? The company, once again, is at the forefront of technology. And there's another pathway in the body called the NRF1 pathway. So what Protandim NRF1 does is it tells your body, because again, as you age, our bodies make less mitochondria and our mitochondria become damaged. So this product here says, hey body, make more mitochondria, and it helps to repair damaged mitochondria. I want you to think about this, okay? Our mitochondria are duplicating. So think about this. If a person has autoimmune issues, if a person has allergies, if a person has fibromyalgia or whatever else they might, any number of diseases, and the mitochondria are duplicating, what's duplicating? Damaged mitochondria. So how is that person ever going to get better? But if they can start taking Protandim NRF1 and you're getting it into your body, then it takes time, especially depending on how long a person's been sick. A person that's been sick for a month is going to have a different impact than a person that's been sick for 20 or 30 years, right? But let's start fixing that mitochondria. And again, it's all plant-based and it's approved by the Banned Substances Control Group and NSF certified, which means that elite athletes can take these products without testing for banned substances. So the next issue that's like the third pillar of health is your gut. 80% of our health starts in our gut. It's super important. You think about leaky gut and you look at that right side, you think about all the things that are impacted by having a leaky gut, whether it's arthritis, your joints, whether it's your brain or skin or thyroid, all these types of things, right? So a lot of people have been, they've heard commercials about taking probiotics, but those probiotics or those commercials oftentimes are misleading because they're telling you to eat your yogurt or you have expensive drink probiotics that you buy from Whole Foods or wherever. But you guys, here's what they don't tell you. And here's what I didn't know. Okay. And if I didn't know this, a lot of people just don't know this. And I love that we get to educate you guys. And that is that most probiotics, our stomach acids kill the bacteria. So only about 4% of the healthy bacteria that's supposed to get to your gut gets where it's supposed to get. Most of the bacteria are dead. So you're not getting any benefit. So what I love about the LifeVantage probiotic is that it's encapsulated by what's called Biohack. And that Biohack technology encapsulates the healthy bacteria so that with food, when you take it, about 60% survives, but on an empty stomach, about 85% of those healthy bacteria survive. And then the other thing that's really important about a probiotic is that it be time released. So that specific strains of the healthy probiotic will get to where it's going to be the most benefit in that area of the gut. And ours also has Wellmune, which is an immune system enhancer. There is a gut-brain connection that needs to be protected. Our gut is our second brain. And then finally, the next part of the core 4 is a healthy omega, okay? You're getting omega, the omega-3, the omega-7, it's not fishy. If you're consuming a fish oil today and you get fish burps or it smells fishy, it's because it's rancid. And a rancid fish oil is worse than taking no fish oil at all. And what I love about the LifeVantage fish oil is that it literally is harvested at the site, and on every bottle you can trace where the fish oil was harvested, so it's traceable from boat to bottle. And we also have the vitamin D. So the benefits of the fish oil for everybody is it's going to support healthy brain, healthy heart, and healthy immune system. Super important. So what those 4 products that I just described are what are called the vitality stack. Really the core 4. So when a person is asking me, well, what should I take to just give me a, kind of like that overall protection? If a person's got the budget, like $5 a day, it would be the vitality stack because you're addressing all those issues you see here, the reduction of oxidative stress, mitochondrial production, improved energy, gut health, etc. Okay. And the beautiful thing also is that 4 vitality stack literally in 2008 won the Bronze Stevie Award. And the Stevie Awards are an international business award. Over 3,000 submissions from over 74 countries. And they chose the LifeVantage Vitality Stack as the bronze. That's huge. And it had only been out a year. So people out there in the business community are recognizing how powerful this foursome of product is. So that's the vitality stack, okay? Then we have some other products, because when we talk about biohacking for LifeVantage, we're literally biohacking the entire body. And so our skin is our largest organ. Everything that touches our skin gets absorbed within like 30 seconds. And when you have bad products touching your skin with really bad ingredients, they get absorbed into our bloodstream, causing issues. So we have a skincare regimen that is completely clean. And the way that it came out is that LSU, Louisiana State University, was one of those research institutions that was interested in lowering oxidative stress for skin cancer. And what they found was that when you Protandim on the inside broke the link in skin cancer. And again, go to PubMed.gov. PubMed.gov is an arm of the National Institute of Health. That's where peer-reviewed research sits. That's where doctors and researchers go to get medically validated information. If you go to PubMed, you're going to type in Protandim, and you're going to see the 25 studies, and 3 of them are from LSU, okay? Peer review is the gold standard of medical validation. So when they saw the results of what Protandim was doing in the body, they made a recommendation, and they said, can you take the science of what Protandim does in the body and create a skincare regimen, reducing oxidative stress topically? So we have a 4-part system: a facial cleanser, a perfecting lotion, which helps with brightening. We have an eye serum that really goes after the wrinkles. It's soft, it's safe enough to put on your eyelid, and then the anti-aging cream. And look at this, you guys. Think about that, those statistics of the individuals that say that they felt younger looking skin, their skin felt smoother. And just as important as what is in Protandim NRF2, the true science is what's not in it. So no parabens, no jellies, no petroleum jelly, a very clean product. And it's also patented. Very few skincare regimens are patented, and we have the very first NRF2 patented skincare. And again, remember, to get a patent, what your product does, it has to be substantially different than what else is on the market. So we're going 7 layers deep, and we're actually slowing down that cellular damage topically. So you see here in that lower right-hand corner, this lady's results in 60 days, right? But also, I want you guys to also know and think about, who do you know and who do you love that may have skin conditions? Because what we find with Protandim in the body and true science on the outside is that people with skin conditions like rosacea, eczema, psoriasis have really great results. You see the before and afters here. And again, those results were with Protandim NRF2 in the body and the true science externally. And then we biohack your hair, okay? Again, anything that you put on your scalp or your skin gets absorbed, right? And the thing that we've learned is that whatever you put on your scalp gets absorbed 4 times even faster. So the company came out with a very, very clean hair care system, because remember what we talked about, that the diseases and the issues are mostly based on environmental factors, and what we're putting on our skin and in our scalp matters. So this is a very clean system: shampoo, a conditioner, and a scalp serum. So for people that have full heads of hair, you're just gonna use a clean product that's not gonna mess with your immune system, not gonna get into your bloodstream, change your hormones and that type of thing, right? But what we also find is that for people that do have hair issues, balding, thinning hair, while we can't make claims, you see these pictures here, and the pictures speak 1,000 words. We're finding that there's the appearance of hair regrowth, etc. Okay? And then we have Axio, which is one of my favorite products, because we call it brain food. So it's marketed as an energy drink. So if it's mid-afternoon, someone's tired, instead of drinking Red Bull or 5-Hour Energy, which is cancer in a can, it's not healthy. They can take a stick of the Axio, mix it with water, and have an energy boost that doesn't give you the jitters and it doesn't give you a crash. It helps with mental focus, mental concentration, and mental clarity. It's clean. It's also, once again, it's approved by the Banned Substances Control Group, and we find that a lot of athletes are using it for either post-workout or pre-workout, okay? But you guys, here's the other thing. We're biohacking the brain. And so for individuals that have focus issues, whether it's an adult with focus issues or whether it's a young person or someone that's on the autism spectrum, again, not making claims, but the pictures tell the story. We're finding that we're unlocking their brains, right? And so here you see on the left-hand side, the nephew of one of our business partners who is a chiropractor, and this is his nephew with ADD. And here you see the handwriting sample before NRF2 and Axio, and then you see a week later his handwriting sample, right? And so we don't know what it's going to do for a child on the spectrum, but we have so many lovely examples. And what if it can just help a child to increase their self-confidence? What if it can just help a child to feel better about themselves? I know that for Carrie's son, he literally, he was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2, had huge results with Axio, literally 50% improvement in his speech in like 3 weeks. But here's what he said to his brother. Here's what he said to his mom. Mom, I'm smart like Ryan now. That's profound, how that little boy now has a greater sense of self-confidence. And you see other pictures here of the value of what's been going on for these kiddos as well, okay? And then we have a weight management system where there's a probiotic, there's a fat burn. The fat burn, what I love about it is that it literally is going after the visceral fat, that unhealthy fat. And what's not on this, and I'll update the slide, you guys, is that we have a prebiotic. The prebiotic is like the fertilizer for the probiotic. It's feeding your gut so that the probiotic will be effective. And that prebiotic recently came out. So I'll update the slide for you guys. But when we talk about a physique weight management system, it's not about just having a weight loss shake, but literally you're walking, you're exercising, you're moving your body, you're making good food choices, but you're using this system, which is the prebiotic, the probiotic, the fat burn, and the protein shake to really help kickstart and be an integral part of that weight management process. And then finally, but last but not least, how many of you guys know someone that absolutely loves their pets, whether it's a cat, whether it's a dog, whether it's a horse? And sometimes we as humans will treat our dogs and animals better than we treat ourselves, right? So people started seeing such great results with Protandim NRF2 that they started giving it to their pets. And so the company, recognizing that that was a huge market, came out with a product specifically formulated for the metabolism of dogs. Think about it. Dogs are close to the ground, where the pesticides, where the dirt is, where there's all this oxidative stress. All mammals have oxidative stress. So for those of you guys that are interested, you can go to YouTube, and there's tons of awesome videos on YouTube. Okay, so that's our biohacking system that I've just gone through. Choose your level of biohacking, right? There's, and if you're watching this, talk to the person that invited you to watch this this webinar and ask them for more details on the various products. But here's what I want to do. I want to transition now, because if you're just here to hear about the products, we love that you're here. 80% of LifeVantage is simply people that have fallen in love with the products. They use them. We have a high customer retention rate. But if you are listening to this and you're saying, how can I capitalize on this? How can I create a secondary source of income to help me and my family to create generational wealth? Because you may not know this or not, but when you build a LifeVantage business, when you build a network marketing business and it's built the right way, it's a willable asset. You're actually creating a willable asset that you can leave for your children and set your children up for the future, or maybe set up and leave it for a foundation. So let's jump into that. The company has created products that are category creating in each of these huge multi-billion-dollar industries: the anti-aging industry, the skincare industry, the pet care industry, etc. Huge industries, and we have exclusive products in each of these categories. And so for some people, they're like, well, network marketing is not for me. I don't sell. You know what I tell people? I never ever thought, think about this. I was a VP of HR. I never in a million years thought that I would be doing network marketing. But here's the thing that I learned, because I just was operating on ignorance. I didn't know. Network marketing, we're simply building a distribution channel where we're sharing products. So instead of people getting it from the stores, they're getting it directly from the company, and we are the voice of educating people on what our products do, okay? I'm not schlepping, and I am not selling pills. I'm creating that distribution network that's much more powerful. And the network marketing industry is over a $200 billion industry. That's huge. In the future, it's not going to be a function of, are you doing network marketing? It's really going to be, which one are you doing? And I just say, hey, find what works for you And for us, for me and my husband, Randy, LifeVantage is our passion because it has everything to do with health and wellness. So we're in about 14 countries. We're a baby company that's got 10 years under our belts, right? And so these are the countries that we're in. And for those of you guys, again, that are business minded, you could be thinking about, wow, we're here in San Diego, but we can build an international business just by speaking to people. And who do they know that knows somebody that is in one of the countries? So for example, we have a business partner that's from Ireland. Well, we just opened up Ireland. And she's super excited because she's like, I know people in Ireland. So while me and Randy may not know anybody in Ireland, we now have the potential to have business partners in Ireland, which opens up a whole another country for us. So the idea is that you can build an international business from your living room, literally. And on the bottom, you see the countries where we're open for just customers right now. But a lot of network marketing, the billion-dollar network marketing companies, they're in thousands of countries. Right now we're in 14. So there's a huge runway for us to keep expanding, and we're first, you guys. So timing matters. Products that are exclusive, that are that you can't get in other places, that's a huge factor, right? Exclusivity. Having products that you consume is really, really important because that way they're products that people have to have an auto ship or a subscription for. That's where you create that passive residual income. And then timing matters. If every single person on your block knew about a company and they'd already been taking the products like some of these other network marketing companies out there that have been around for decades, it's a lot harder to build it. But when you're first with products that are category creating that no one knows about, we're literally laying the groundwork for when this company hits momentum. 80% of the growth of a company happens during momentum. And that's why getting in early is super important so that you can ride that momentum wave, create that, that financial security and create that generational wealth. Right now, we're looking for those individuals that see it. And here's the reality. You yourself or me, I can only work so many hours in a day and so many hours in a week. But when you have a whole team of people working with you, even if it's just an hour, you've got 400 or 500 or 600 people on your team, that creates leverage. And everybody should have a business that is creating leverage for them so that you can make money while you sleep. It's not easy. It's not fast money. It is not get rich quick. Anyone that tells you that building a network marketing company is easy is lying to you. I'm just gonna be honest here. It takes grit, it takes persistence, it takes consistency, and it takes having a purpose and a why that when you feel beat up, when people are naysayers, when families are saying, no, that's a scam, your why, the purpose that you've chosen for why you want to do this has to be so big that when you're going through a yucky downtime, that your why will inspire you to keep on going. And what I love about this company is that there's huge amounts of mentorship within the company and training to help people get through those lumps and bumps. So for those of you guys that are interested, we have 3 ways of getting involved. I really recommend one of these two ways as the best because you're able to sample the various products. There's a gold pack that's $650 and there's a platinum pack that's $1250. Significant savings on the configuration of products in these different packs. And you're literally buying a business in a box. You're buying the potential of a business in a box. There's no downside here, guys. There's no downside. And think about this. You're buying a business. You're buying into a business that's giving you all the assets on the right side. You get corporate. You get production. You're not having to make a product. You're not having to wrap a product. You're not delivering product. Your customers go to your website. And by the way, there's a replicated website. So one-time cost, some companies make you pay month after month after month for their website. They may have you start with a smaller entry cost, but what they don't tell you is that you're having to pay for the website every month to be able to see who your customers are and look at your back office. So I love that that's included as a one-time investment in this. You also get marketing and legal and accounting. So it's really powerful what comes with this. And it's a tax write-off. There's a ton of tax benefits from having your own business. For those of you guys that are listening to this and you're hearing that for the very first time, get back with the person that invited you, and we can have they can have a deeper discussion, or you guys can reach out to me and we can have a deeper discussion on what the tax implications and how powerful it is to have a home-based business to have you bring home more of your tax dollars, okay? How far can you take this? This is our income disclosure statement. There's a new one that's up, but and the numbers have gone up, but I have this one for now. So we have ranks in our company. Some people say, oh, are those levels? Is that a multi-level? You know, is that a scam? Well, number one, scams are illegal. We're on the NASDAQ. We're regulated by the SEC. Every single number that you see here has been audited. We have ranks in our companies. Those of you guys that have a job may think of it as a pay grade. We get paid by having products move through our organizations. So Pro 1s have $1,000 worth of product moving through their organizations. A Pro 2, $2,500. A Pro 3, $5,000. So product is moving. We're not getting paid for recruiting people, okay? And the beautiful thing about this is that we're literally helping each other. No one rank advances in this company without helping their team. It's not about being selfish. It's not about using people. It's literally about everyone working together. I always say a rising tide raises all ships, and that's what we're doing with this company and with building our businesses. So a person, I want you to look at this monthly average column here. So a person can basically get in it and say, you know what? I just want an extra $79 a month. Passive income, residual income is powerful. Or if I had an extra $261 or $580 coming into my home, that would be powerful. Then there's other people that say, Brenda, Randy, we want to be able to bring in an extra $1,100, an extra $2,500 into our home. It would pay our mortgage. It would pay for our car notes. You know, the average income in America is like $65,000. Our Pro 6s are at that rate. Randy and I are Pro 6s knocking on the door of Pro 7. We've replaced 2 pensions. Most people do not have a pension these days. When you build your network marketing business with LifeVantage, you literally are creating your own pension. So, and then our elite ranks, Pro 7, Pro 8, Pro 9, you see those numbers. They're $11,000 a month, $22,000 a month, $42,000 a month, and higher. But here's the deal. If you've never ever made that type of money on a monthly basis, let's start small. Can we help you make an extra $261 a month? Can we help you make an extra $508 a month? Can we help you make an extra $1,100 a month? Whatever it is that you want to do, we can help you do that, and we can help you do that. We're not going to do the work for you, but we can help you do that. We get paid 8 different ways. I'm not going to go into all those different ways. We actually have videos that go into detail on how we get paid. We have bonuses that we get paid on a weekly basis, and we have bonuses that we get paid on a monthly basis, and we have the ability to create residual income. And a person can build their LifeVantage business however they want. They can build just by going after customers. I'll be honest, it's a slower build, and it's not going to be as lucrative a build. And then you can also build your business by looking for other people that also have a passion for helping others and that also want to create that legacy for their families. And there's an awesome global revenue sharing. But again, if you want to know how we get paid in more detail, there are webinars that you can watch, which will go into the details. But suffice to say, like I said earlier, Randy and I work in this business, have been able to replace 2 pensions. And it has literally just been a labor of love because we have a vision and we just haven't given up. Has it always been easy? The answer is no. Have we gone up and down? The answer is yes. But when you can create passive income, it is magical and so worth it. And this last slide, I'll quickly share, you know, so many people have learned the traditional plan where we work for 40 to 50 years and then we retire and we think we're going to live on what we couldn't live, you know, half of what we couldn't live on during our most productive years, right? This traditional plan is not working. People are still like, you know, blows my mind when people are 70 and 80 years old that are still working because they don't have the money to have a quality of life. This new model which I invite you to really take a look at, is keep working, keep doing what you're doing, but create a plan B. What if life happens? When the economy dropped, when the economy crashed in 2008, 2009, I literally flew around the world laying off 60% of my employee population. I had men and women crying, begging me to not lay them off. And what I learned and why I'm so passionate about this industry is that the economy is changing, you guys. We don't have control over that. Companies are closing their doors. When a company has financial issues, the first people to go are the employees. That was the world I came from. And more companies are using automation. So whatever job you have right now, do it because it pays the bills or because you just love it, right? But create a passive residual income stream that you can work in the nooks and crannies of your life that no one can take away from you. Create a passive income stream that you can just, grow into with mentorship and no one can take it away from you, right? It's a different way of thinking. And that way, if you can just invest 5 to 10 years and create this amazing residual income, you can have a better quality of life during those years where some people are still really, really working. And again, like I said, you're creating a generational wealth asset. Our company is heavily involved in giving back to the communities. That's one of the things I love about this company. And finally, again, guys, we have amazing products. So if you're here tonight and the products are resonating and that's all you want, that's awesome, because the sign of a great network marketing company is that they have a predominance of customers and that the company is not being carried by the distributors. We have 80% customers that are just loving and consuming the products. But again, from a business perspective, from a future perspective, from protecting your family, whether it's from a loss of a job or maybe an illness, or maybe it's not you that gets laid off, maybe it's a spouse, or maybe it's not you that gets sick, but maybe it's a spouse, or maybe it's a family member that you want to be able to be with. How many of you guys have ever found out a family member was sick and you couldn't stop what you were doing because either you couldn't get off your job or you didn't have the money to buy a plane ticket? What if you could build a LifeVantage business that would pay an extra $500,000 or $1,000 where you can have more choices? And that's what network marketing allows for is that more choices. So never depend on a single income. If you have any questions, please get back to the person that invited you to see this webinar. I hope I'll stop sharing here. I hope that this webinar has been useful this evening, that you've learned a lot. I went a little bit over and I apologize, but I'm hoping that you're gonna find some folks that you can share this webinar with that are gonna find a lot of value, because I am serious. The time is now to take control of your financial future and also your health from a health and wellness perspective. So thanks guys for joining me this evening. Thanks to my hubby for being on as well. And we will see you shortly. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. And I'll have the recording of this for anyone that wants it, okay? Take care, guys.